Welcome to Wednesday's show and welcome to July, and it's starting off on a note similar to another month, much earlier, much later than now, and we're going to continue to see that trend. No major advances or improvements, I guess I should say, in your weather forecast for the 4th of July holiday, and I have so been holding out hope for some. The end of Saturday right now could go either way. I don't have much hope for Friday. Tomorrow we'll be weighing in, since it will be our last days. We'll be off Friday, as I believe most everyone will be taking the Friday off for the 4th of July weekend. So tomorrow we'll weigh in and see what any potential weather changes may have to do with the plans that, of course, are taking place in McGoffin and in the surrounding and viewing area. So stay tuned for that tomorrow. On tonight's program, we'll go back and re-air a report that I had last evening that does relate to the papers and requests filed with the Kentucky Court of Appeals on behalf of McGoffin County Judge Executive Charles Hardin. Some technical difficulties last night with the Foothills feed had a situation that resulted in a lot of video and audio drops throughout the entire program, and the reason being, by the way, is I've been telling you now for quite some time about them changing out some equipment that will fix a lot of issues that they've had, and it's not a quick and easy process, but the equipment is up and running. It's been tested today, and I expect there to be a few hiccups. Maybe not. There might not be. But indeed, it is supposed to be a massive and major improvement as far as the ease of operations and reliability of programming. So with that said, I'll air that report again for you tonight, as I've had a lot of calls and requests to do so. I'll also take you to the scene of, well, I'll just show you more about it, tell you more about it later. But I want one already. It has to do with the tornado, the aftermath, if you will, and a major announcement from a McGoffin County school system employee and where he is headed to another school system and why, and other headlines to follow. With that said, the governor, as he has promised, has weighed in on some clerks throughout the state of Kentucky refusing to issue marriage licenses to gay or other couples. Several counties, a small number of which first went along that route. Some are standing fast, still refusing to do so. And the governor has issued a statement that reads in part that our county clerks took an oath as elected officials to uphold the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of Kentucky, as well to provide important duties in their communities. And this oath does not dictate what our clerks must believe, but it does certainly prescribe how they must act in carrying out their duties as elected officials. Same-sex couples in Kentucky are now entitled to the issuance of a marriage license by every county clerk based on Friday's ruling by the United States Supreme Court. While there are certainly strongly held views on both sides of the issue, the governor says the fact remains that each clerk vowed to uphold the law regardless of his or her personal beliefs. He says he appreciates the clerks who are fulfilling their duties, issuing licenses to all couples, and he would expect others to execute their duties of their offices as prescribed by law and to issue marriage licenses to all Kentuckians. Brown County is one of the holdouts where that clerk is still standing fast in its determination to not issue marriage licenses at all, of course, in opposition to the ruling on behalf of the United States Supreme Court. Now, backing up to a report that I did air on yesterday, McGoffin County Judge Executive Charles Hardin and attorneys on his behalf have officially filed requests for rehearings before the Kentucky Court of Appeals. Of course, with the upholding of the lower court's ruling, the judge executive had 30 days to file an appeal, or the appeals court ruling would become final and law. However, that is now null and void, and the clock has reset, if you will, after the filing on behalf of his attorneys to see, he says, or his attorneys say, if the three judges looked at the law correctly. They have made two requests, one of those to have the entire case brought before not just a three-judge panel of the appeals court, as happened several weeks ago, but before the entire Court of Appeals in the state of Kentucky. The following interview is with Jim Deckard of Hurt, Deckard & May. One of the attorneys representing Dr. Charles Hardin. Seen at the podium is Elder Bud Adams, another attorney representing Hardin. But the phone interview that we held yesterday discusses the two filings that he has made on behalf of his client, at least one of which requests to have the case brought before the entire judge panel, the other to have it heard in its entirety as well.
Afternoon, Judge Hardin instructed us to file a petition for rehearing with the Court of Appeals, and that was done. And what that does is it asks the Court of Appeals, the three members of the Court of Appeals who decided this case, to take another look at it, to look at the precedent of both the Kentucky Supreme Court and the Kentucky Court of Appeals, and try to mesh what they've now decided with what other courts previous to them that they have to adhere to, what they've decided. In addition to the rehearing, we've also asked for the entire Court of Appeals, all 14 members who are from Paducah to Pikeville, to take a look at this together. The current decision of the Court of Appeals, if it becomes the law, is going to place enormous new requirements upon county clerk's offices statewide. There will be technical adherent points that every county clerk's office will have to meet that they've never met before in order to sustain elections. And this is going to lead, in my opinion, to litigation in all counties when somebody's upset that they didn't get enough votes to win, that they'll go to court and try to overturn elections on a technical basis, just as has happened here. Because we filed a petition for rehearing, that stops the process. Judge Hardin had the right to file a motion for discretionary review with the Supreme Court within 30 days, or to file this petition for rehearing within 20 days of the decision back earlier in June. Because he's done this, the Court of Appeals will now take another look at this case, and in the coming weeks or months, make a decision on whether they want to rehear it, and if they do rehear it, whether they want to rehear it with all 14 judges hearing it, and if they do, that will require possibly more briefs and another oral argument. If they don't, then Judge Hardin would have another 30 days from that date to file a motion for discretionary review with the Supreme Court.
Besides the grounds that you've mentioned in regards to setting up new guidelines, any other grounds specifically that you felt were of importance enough to substantiate a rehearing?
You know, rehearings are not all that common, but in cases with statewide significance, they are more common than not. In this case, one thing stands out to me, of many things that I believe are in error from the court, and that is that their focus on, for example, the failure of shaking the absentee ballots in the ballot box instead of the decision of the McGoffin Board of Elections to shuffle them all on a table in a public setting. I've personally seen the McGoffin County ballot box. I've tried to pick it up. It's, I'm guessing, 75 to 100 pounds, solid oak. Under this technical requirement, it's going to put county clerks across the state in jeopardy of having their elections overturned if they don't pick those ballot boxes up and shake them over their head. You know, we can take things to the extreme, and I believe that's what these technical requirements are that the court has imposed upon not only McGoffin but all county clerks. What we need is a process that ensures that everybody's vote counts and that nobody's disenfranchised. If they vote absentee or if they vote in the polls, their votes need to count. And their votes counted in November 2014, and Judge Hardin beat John Montgomery. And we believe at the end of the day, that will be the ultimate outcome of this case.
Some of the questions that remain, whether or not the appeals case will be finalized between now and the August filing deadline. Of course, should the appeal be determined to be law and Hardin be ordered to stay out of his office as per the two courts' rulings, well, then there would be a special election that would be on the November ballot. The filing deadline is in August for that race, which, of course, puts in another deadline amongst those that have been issued on behalf of the courts. I'll keep you up to date, and we'll have more news after this.
There's an unlimited selection of new and pre-owned vehicles right at your fingertips with 9 acres of inventory and 7 different franchises all at one location. Hutch, Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. Call Chevy, Buick, and GMC at 297-4066 or Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram at 297-5066. Where selection, satisfaction, and service after you're sold are all guaranteed. To get high-speed internet on their state-of-the-art fiber optic network for all of your home and business solutions, or to watch TV without a contract on over 200 digital channels with superb quality, or stay connected with family and friends with 24/7 telephone service you can always depend on, contact Foothills Broadband today. Or just click on their link to the right to find out how they're working to provide the latest in communications at affordable prices with exceptional service at Foothills Broadband.
For years, we have interviewed him in several different capacities, either as the Director of Student Services within the Magoffin County School System or as the head coach of the North Magoffin Elementary Panthers and Andrews basketball team coach, which he's had the opportunity to do so as he's had a very successful career in both fields. So successful in one, though, that he is now moving on. This obviously being one of the interviews in his coaching capacity, but David Neal Gibson, who has coached the North Magoffin Panthers for quite some time and also held the position of Director of Student Services, is now officially, as of today, with one more announcement to come, the Superintendent of Schools, Breathitt County Schools. Gibson has been very hands-on and involved with the rebuilding of the schools post-tornado, and it will be a similar account that he will have to take into consideration in Breathitt County, still under state control. He had to appear before the selection committee. The board also interviewed him, and then 3 names had to be submitted to the education commissioner, which made his selection of Gibson on yesterday. A special called meeting was also held earlier today to set forth terms to which they agreed to, and the formal announcement is coming tonight with a statement from Gibson coming next week. I've talked to him via the telephone. He wishes to talk about his time at the Magoffin County High School and what he is looking forward to most about becoming the head of Breathitt County Schools. We'll have that interview for you next week. He is also one of 2 school system employees in just the most recent weeks to go on from the school system into the superintendent's position, that of course being Sanford Holbrook, who has now been determined to be and decided upon being the superintendent of Robertson County Schools. Up to date and find out what's happening with a few special announcements. Here's tonight's Magoffin Farm Bureau sponsored community calendar. And it begins with a special announcement that reads, could you please announce a very special anniversary? And it also says they absolutely love your news today, never miss a show. Thank you. I could not be more thankful for those sentiments. But it is asked for me to say tonight, a little more than thank you, a happy 48th wedding anniversary to Irvin and Jesse Workman of Sagersville with a lot of love from all your children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren, and I'd like to chime in on that too. Happy 48th wedding anniversary to Irvin and Jesse Workman. Thanks for watching. And Ernest Keaton, from your stepdaughter, from your lady, from your family, from your friends, I have been asked to wish you the happiest of birthdays, and I'm told you're 54 today. Happy 54th birthday to Ernie Keaton. Happy birthday to you. A reminder, there will be no picking and grinning this Saturday at Kearney Free Will Baptist Church. And I've got another story coming from Kearney Free Will, I do believe, here in the next few days that I'm just reminding myself of. Nevertheless, due to the 4th of July celebrations, they say happy and safe 4th of July to you, and they'll be back at picking and grinning before you know it. Vacation Bible School starts this coming Monday, and it's every Monday in July, 6 to 8:30 at New Life Worship Center. The theme is Under Construction, How to Build a Christian. Classes for ages 18 and under. If you need a ride, call 349-7729. That's for ages 6 and up. And if you have any other questions, call 349-3055. And from the South Magoffin cheerleading squad, they're having a fundraiser. Get in shape. I'm not sure what PIYO stands for. I know about the Ritt classes, but they're having a fundraiser this coming Monday. This is going to be from 6 to 7:30 in the Magoffin County High School gymnasium. It's just $10 per person. It will be with certified instructors Michelle Conley and Jackie Prater, 2 names very well known in that arena. And that will be, of course, this coming Monday for the fundraiser. Just $10 per person, 6 to 7:30. Come and watch. Just help support the cheerleaders and give them $10. Your News Today is exactly where you want to send your calendar, birthday, and other announcements. Phone, fax, email, Facebook. Drop them off here at the studio, and we'll get them on for free. I'll be right back. To get high-speed internet on their state-of-the-art fiber optic network for all of your home and business solutions,
or to watch TV without a contract on over 200 digital channels with superb quality, or stay connected with family and friends with 24/7 telephone service you can always depend on, contact Foothills Broadband today. Or just click on their link to the right to find out how they're working to provide the latest in communications at affordable prices with exceptional service at Foothills Broadband.
Things I can say about this next report, and the subject of which, one is I want one. Two is I was surprised how rather easily accessible and affordable it was, and without a doubt it has a great life-saving purpose in mind.
It sits just a few feet literally from where the tornado of 2012 carved a path that can still be seen today, and a few feet further from that where homes and businesses were completely destroyed and left to be nothing but rubble. And it may go unnoticed at first, and even upon approaching, it may still go unnoticed, or you may be uncertain of its purpose, but indeed it has one, and it has one that Fire Chief Paul Howard, with all of his decades of experience, will admit that he wouldn't really have considered before March of 2012.
No, the old saying that a tornado could not get down in between the hills. Then in 2012 we were proven wrong that we had a major tornado get down in between the hills in two of our cities and totally take us out. So with my training and stuff, we always pre-train for the worst, and we might never use this and hope we never do use this, but at least this neighborhood and our in-laws has got access to go to it and get in it in case we have another tornado that comes through here.
And if you're wondering just how affordable and how accessible are units like these, Howard says that they chipped in between the 4 households and purchased the about $4,500 unit. Now, it is sized to hold 10, but Paul says, admittedly, for as long as you may need it for a tornado threat, maybe 15 minutes at the most, he is certain that he could get much more than 14 people in there. It has its own ventilation system, it has its own solar lighting, and it also has one other very most important amenity.
It's an enclosed, completely sealed fiberglass unit.
And if small, confined spaces aren't necessarily your thing, but you would reluctantly or more than likely happily go to such a shelter if you had one, you'll be glad to know that it has a handle that lets you out from the inside. The family has had this unit for several months, and you know the kind of rainfall and downpours that we've had in several months. It was completely bone dry, and with the lid closed, and with those small LED lights, solar powered again as a backup source, with some battery powered lights as well, it is relatively, and perhaps even more than relatively, comfortable inside.
People's mindset has completely changed from 2012 to today is because of the tornado, and actually how much devastation and how much it can cause in less than a minute's time. Never dreamed it could do that kind of damage. It was only on the ground like 58, 59 seconds. And look, we still haven't recovered to this day from it.
And Howard says on a personal and professional basis, he's been perpetuating the idea of just how easy and smart it is. You're talking about, as Howard did, a family with 4 households splitting up a cost of just a little more than $1,000 each. Incredibly affordable, incredibly easy. It's right there within close proximity to all their homes. There's also a smaller model, he says, sold by the same company, a 6-person unit, which would, like this one, we expect hold more, that you can purchase for as little as $2,600. And the installation is as easy as just digging a big hole. And digging a hole, as bad as I hate to use it for a segue into your forecast, precipitation-wise, it kind of sums it up, and we're looking for more throughout the 4th of July holiday. Tomorrow will be my last day with you this week, and I'm hopeful that we'll have some better news then, but I just still do not like the trends that we're seeing. Here's your local Doppler radar as of the 6 o'clock hour, and it shows the viewing area under the gun of some not stormy activity so much, but just some of your run-of-the-mill showers, the likes of which are putting a damper on about everything. As for the rest of your Licking Valley RECC forecast, I expect temperatures to fall to about 65 tonight. Showers already sitting them well into that direction. We'll see cloudy skies and, of course, scattered showers and maybe a few light thunderstorms, as you just saw. Going into Thursday, well, we have a wet one, I do believe, in store. Scattered showers and thunderstorms, then maybe likely conditions thereafter. As the afternoon increases, so will the chances of showers to the tune of 70%. So likely is a good or appropriate word to use here. Appropriate. 75, 63 for your high and low, cloudy and wet. And then Friday, which is going to be a big night here in McGoffin County, we hope, with all the planned festivities, fireworks, the Watermelon Social. Right now, scattered showers and storms are likely, mainly afternoon, still cloudy, still in the upper 70s. Lesser, but still 50% chance of showers and storms into your Friday night. 24 hours from now, I hope to give you a better picture. Maybe we can dodge those. Maybe we can see everything happen as scheduled. It'll be a wait-and-see situation. Tell you more about it tomorrow. Saturday, Independence Day, showers and storms likely mainly after 1 to the tune of 60%. I'm hopeful that by Saturday night, we're talking about a lesser percentage of maybe around 40%, and maybe those planned activities will get underway on Saturday night. Once again, I'm still holding my breath and crossing fingers and toes at this point. The latter half of your 4th of July weekend still looks mostly cloudy, temperatures right around the 80-degree mark, and still a 50% threat of showers and storms. And this pattern is not going anywhere in the foreseeable future. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week, we've got 81, 82, 83 degrees for daytime highs, mostly cloudy, with the exception of Monday where we might see a little bit of sunshine, mostly cloudy every other day, and a 40 to 50% chance of storms each and every day thereafter. It's been a long one and a wet one.
That's it for tonight's program. An update on the 4th of July plans and how they may be dampened by the forecast, and some other news that you'll only see with me back here tomorrow night for more of Your News Today. For now, thank you for watching and have a good night.